Hello. Let's see. Why is my... Oh. Oops. My camera wasn't on. That's why it's not showing up. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. How are you all doing? So, yeah, today we're going to be doing something. There's a bunch of, like, random tweaks and odds and ends things that I want to do. And we'll see how long those things take. Maybe we'll get into doing some new content or something like that. Draw some new cards, some new artifacts. We'll see. We will see. But before we get into it, I want to remind everyone that Alchemortis is available for wishlisting. The playtest is also live for another day here. So if you haven't tried the playtest yet, definitely give it a shot. I would appreciate that. And you could join the Discord to leave me your feedback. Let me know what you think of the game. You could also support the game on Patreon. If you support at the top tier here, I will send you an Alchemortis Steam key when the game launches, so you won't have to buy it on Steam, and your name will be listed in the in-game Alchemortis credits. And you only have to subscribe to this for 1 month to get those 2 perks. So definitely check that out. And I also have my Udemy courses available for sale. This is the network, this online co-op multiplayer course using the high-level networking in Godot. So if you're interested in that, check that out as well. All those links are below, and I appreciate all the support. Okay, let me get, I'm a little bit scrambled today, let's see. All right, anyway, hello Clickertail, welcome back. Good morning Ninja Link. Good morning Nathan. Anthony, welcome. Good morning, Diginanigans. Hello Jahar. I'm dying inside and all I see are demons. Good morning all. That's not good. You might want to go see, what is a doctor for demons? A demonologist? Hello, Wooius. Though my arm hurts a little from being vaccinated yesterday. It do be like that. Alright, so, let's see. Exorcist. Oh, there you go, yeah. Exorcist. So one of the things that I want to do here is... where is that card? The swapping of the left and right mouse buttons here. Use LMB to quick move in, purchase, and RMB to inspect. Another good item, Holy Bible. That might be a good one, yeah. That might be a good one. But, I mean, yeah, I guess... Yeah, maybe something like that would work. I believe a demonologist is someone who studies the demons and the occult. I think that's right. Sharima, are you going to be annoying? Are you going to be annoying? What? Are you switching roles with your brother today? There she is. As soon as I start streaming, you need attention. Why? What is wrong with you cats? Who made you this way? Who made you this way? Wait, you have 2 bald cats? I do. I have 2 of them. I have 2 of them. I got the first one and I was like, well, I don't want him to feel lonely if I'm gone, so I got another one. Hello, Lamatos. Welcome back. Okay, so we're gonna swap this left and right mouse button. Where is it? Okay. So use LMB to quick move and purchase, and RMB to inspect. Okay, we're gonna have to. I remember a couple months ago, or not a couple months ago, probably many months ago, I swapped those. Now I'm gonna swap them back. It's kind of funny, but I think it makes sense. It's just I'm gonna have to take a look at this card mouse events manager and see what's all going on in here. Because I have this state. So if is action press, action click left, clicking down, clicking up. If current state is equal to clicking down, clicking up, try drop card. If old state is equal to dragging, if is tool mode, emit signal tool mode, right click. I think this is. Oh boy. I've got all this mouse state stuff in here that I'm going to need to swap around. What's better than 1 bald cat? 2, yeah. That's a good card, hairless cat. Oh, that could work, actually. That could. I already have a cat, though, so maybe I don't want to do 2 cat cards. Probably don't want to do 2 cat cards, actually. Alright, is tool mode. Am I using this in tool mode anywhere? That is not tool mode. Card, board. What was it called? Board configuration editor. Okay, I'm not using this tool mode anymore, so I'm going to remove this. This should hopefully simplify at least some of the logic here. Okay, and we're going to get rid of this tool mode right-clicked. Alrighty. If current state is equal to current input state right-clicking, is mouse over card and can drag. Can drag, what is this? Right. Try quick move card. Mouse over card. Okay, so I basically just need to flip this around. Alright. So if current state is clicking up, last click card is equal to null, we're going to change it to the input state. Old state equals card input state dragging. We're going to need to keep that in there. Else show inspector. So we need the left click to do the quick move instead. Right click. Okay, so I think this show inspector goes away. We're gonna grab this. No, we're gonna grab... Oh, try quick move card. Yeah. In here. So we just need this block here. Else if mouse over card. So let's see if this makes sense. If the old state was dragging, then we're just going to drop the card. If otherwise, if the mouse over card is not equal to null and can drag that card, we're going to try to quick move the card. Then we're changing into the input state none regardless. And then if current state is equal to input state right clicking, then what we want to do is we want to do if mouse over card is not equal to null, show inspector for mouse over card. And we change into the input state none. All right. Is that all I need to do for that? Let's find out. Hopefully that works. Hello, Straight Business. Welcome back. Good to see you. Why not? We just said what's better than one cat, two of them. That's true. That's true. Hello, SSH. Oh, SS. Oh, that's kind of a clever name. SSH Sherlock, something like that. Real life Guilfoyle. I don't know what that is. I don't know what Guilfoyle is. I hope it's not derogatory. You want more than 2 cat cards for sure. Probably should just be a cat game, TBH. Sorry, a cat game that's massively popular just came out, so that niche is filled for now. Now I gotta make sure that I didn't break anything. So I know you can't really tell on the stream, but now when I right click, it brings up the inspector, and when I left click, cards get quick moved. They get quick moving. So that works. I guess that does feel somewhat better. So right click now is what brings up the inspector. And I can just quick move things in and out of my board. Okay, so we reversed those. So there's a couple of other places that I need to change though first. For one, I need to go to my card tooltip and I need to reverse this inspector text direct here. So what is this one called? This is left click, let's quick load, right click, and we'll put that there. Okay, so that's updated. It's a character from Silicon Valley. Oh, okay. Well, I guess there are worse things to be called. How do you effectively communicate your UI buttons to the player? For example, how would they know right click brings up the inspector? Is that in the tutorial? Will it be? Well, there's this here in the tooltip. See that? There's that there, but I realize that that's not super it's not super clear. I think I'm going to redo the tutorial. The tutorial was basically just like a stopgap solution so that the new playtest would have at least some introduction to the game. I think what I'm going to ultimately move towards is I'm going to have that skull character just pop up during the appropriate places of like your first couple of runs. So the first time that you encounter something new, that tutorial guy will pop up and say, hey, by the way, you can do this, right? And I think that's how a lot of games do it, where you may have an initial tutorial section that gives you the basic controls and whatnot, but then there will be like tips that show up for the first like 1 hour of gameplay or whatever. So as you experience new things, they will be explained as you go rather than front loading all the information. I think that's probably the way to go with the tutorial stuff. So like the first time that you the first time you apply poison or whatever, maybe it will explain poison, and the first time that you apply shield, it will explain that, and then maybe at some point it will say, by the way, you can inspect cards with right click. That means no more accidental purchasing cards in the shop. Yeah. So yeah, okay. Welcome, Omar, by the way. Hello, Rin. Welcome back. Good to see you. How are you doing? I'm of the opinion that UI should be intuitive, self-explaining, so something like the little image you have on the right click. I just feel like a UI should be minimalist, so... Yeah, that's the problem, right? It's like... UX generally is a tricky beast. Player experience, user experience, because you don't want to... You might have a lot of information that you need to convey to the player, but you can't just present all that information like a book. That's not going to work, right? Because the number one rule of user experience is what, everybody? People don't read. That's right. People don't read. So you can't just say, here's a wall of text tutorial, and then when a player complains about not knowing how to play your game, you can't say, well, it was in the tutorial. Yeah, it was in the wall of text tutorial that people don't read, right? So my best friend is a senior user experience designer, but he does software. He's not, a game UX, but that's like the number one guiding principle is people don't read. So you basically just adopt that as a constraint. Just assume that people aren't going to read anything and just go from there. And it's much harder that way, but it's a proper assumption to make. All right. So the shop now, I need to change the shop inputs. Use right click off. I might be able to remove this use right click now. So we're turning all these off. Sign clickable control. Yeah, pedestal 1. So all of these use right click, so we're going to turn those off. So the artifact tooltip and the shop event tooltip. Oh, I need to update my card tooltip as well. I think... Where is my purchase container? Here we go. This texture needs to change. Quick load, left click. Okay. And then these need to change as well. Inspect. Wait a minute. Why does the artifact have an inspect container? I guess I just probably copied and pasted this. There's no inspection of artifacts, so this inspect container shouldn't even be here. So we'll get rid of that, and we'll just remove, get yeeted, quick load, left click. Okay, then we'll go back here. We'll go to the shop event tooltip now. This needs to have a quick load, left click. And we'll close that. I think my project is, or my shop is event type 3, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go into the shop now and see if that works. People don't read, so true. Learned this lesson the hard way when I tried to demo my game and players skip through every dialogue. Yeah. And, I am, oh, something's broken. The given key 3 was not present in the dictionary. Huh? How is that possible? Oh, I literally don't have a 3. Oh, okay. It's number 2. Good morning, Chris. What font extension are you using that shows not equals as a ligature? I'm using Cascadia Code. It's Microsoft's font, which is really nice. And VS Code supports ligatures directly, although Godot, the Godot editor also supports ligatures directly. So yeah, but it's Cascadia Code. It is my favorite font. It has been since the day it came out. I think it looks really, really nice for programming. So inspections should work here. And if I click, the purchase is not working. Why is the purchase not working? Let's go to the shelf here. Uh-oh, why is this not working? On clicked, purchase. Well, that's not good. It's funny because I've never noticed it in VS Code, so it's certainly not the default. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think ligatures are the default. Let's see. Let's open user settings. Why are some of these settings... I don't think it's the default because this indicates that it's changed, this little orange bar here. So I think that font ligatures have to be explicitly enabled. This is just not working. It's not even putting that in the output. Why would this not be working all of a sudden? Accept event on invalid click, use right click. Disable outline animation, disable outline margins. I could go to my debugger. Let's see. Can I look at my... Oh, you know what? Clicked control. Oh, it's literally not. So I don't know, you can't see this, but I'm clicking these. And so there's a little debugger tab in here, debugger misc, or miss, however you say the shortened version. And it will tell you what your last clicked control is. And so I'm looking at this and it's saying that when I click this, literally nothing is happening. Oh, that worked. Oh, if I actually click on the card, it's not working, but if I click on this part, it does work. Ah. Okay, so the card must be intercepting the mouse events, but okay, that's weird. So the card must be intercepting... Oh, maybe it's getting intercepted in the card mouse events manager. Let me see here. So this would be click down. This is getting viewport set input is handled. gd.print handled click. Let's just put this here. So I may have an order of operations issue here where the click on the card is being intercepted and handled before that clickable control has an opportunity to do so. So let's see, output. So if I click on the card, yeah. So my card mouse events manager is handling that click input event. Well, I think the solution here is to, when I go to my shop here, I think the solution is to, when I set up the shelf and I add the card here, card configuration, base card, here we go. Is this card configuration being set up ahead of time? So it's picking cards ahead of time. Why is it picking cards ahead of time? Is this... Oh, this might be a problem, actually. Generate shop inventory. Oh. I don't think this is appropriate, actually. This shop inventory is generating the cards ahead of time, which is not going to work because if I have the artifact that says that ritual cards are like 1 tier higher, for example, that's not going to work because this is all being generated ahead of time. So why am I doing that? Target tier, tier plus 1. Okay, so I actually need to move this to on-demand generation. So that's actually wrong, but let's not worry about that just yet. Basically, I need those shop inventories to be generated from a seed when you visit the shop, so that any artifacts that you acquire during the run can be applied at the time that those cards are generated. So if I've got the ritual candle that's supposed to make ritual cards drop 1 tier higher, that is currently not going to take effect because all the shop inventories are being generated ahead of time before you've even started the game. And so that's not going to work. And I don't know why. I guess that was an old implementation, but I've been moving more toward, like if I look at my obelisk configuration. So every event has a configuration that's generated ahead of time. But what I've been doing is I've just been passing in either a seed or an RNG. What's another good configuration? Like booster configuration. Booster configuration. Yeah, so I have the booster configuration. I'm storing an RNG object on the configuration, but the RNG isn't actually used to pick cards until this get cards is called, and that is called as soon as you get into that booster event. So that just makes sure that I'm delaying the generation of those cards. I'm delaying the picking of those cards from the loot table until you've actually visited that node. And so that's not currently happening with the shop. So we're going to need to fix that. But let's go back to the shelf here. So when we set the card here, try place card in next available position, base card add to tree root. I think what I need to do is I need to do base card dot card node dot disable mouse area, something like that. And then when I actually pick the card, oh, disable card, where is this called? Play in. Enable card area. So I actually want to disable the card area in here. I think I actually want to change this. Let's see. So let's do disable card area here, and then when I purchase it, enable card area. And then I don't think I actually need, I don't think I need this. So those are just going to be disabled by default. Yeah, those are going to be disabled by default. So I actually don't think I need this. Enable card area. So go to the shelf here. Let's change this to private. I think that will work, but let's just see. Anyway, how do you feel about using autocomplete VS Code? Seems very aggressive and close to using ChatGPT. Am I cheating as a dev using it? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the autocomplete is helpful in a lot of cases, and I think you can configure it so that it's less aggressive or that it waits longer before it tries to make a suggestion. But the autocomplete, the Copilot autocomplete is like, if if I'm just going to write a rote line of code, like I'm doing some filtering on a list or whatever, or I'm doing something very predictable, it just saves the time. It might take me 15 or 30 seconds to write the body of like an if block or a short method. And if the AI could just spit that out for me anyway, and it was going to be exactly what I was going to write, then I might as well save the time, right? Like, I don't really see how it's cheating how you could consider it cheating if like it's just going to give you the code that you were going to write anyway. Now, maybe if you're just relying on it, you don't really know what you're going to write, and you accept the input without thinking critically about it, then maybe that's a problem. But yeah, I don't really see a difference of if I was just going to write that exact line anyway, and the AI just says, here's the line you were going to write. Do you want me to autocomplete it? It's like, why not use it, Hello, Jackie Daytona. Welcome back. That mist debugger is a useful tip. Yeah, for sure. Using AI is not cheating as a dev, despite what many people want you to believe. Yeah, I mean, it's just a tool, it's like, I think there are good and bad ways to use the tool, like any tool, right? There are good and bad ways to use an axe, right? An axe is great for its intended purpose, chopping wood or breaking people out of burning buildings. An axe is not good as a murder weapon. So I would say, AI is most of the people's problem with AI is the generative side of things. But when it's like a glorified search engine, I don't think people have a problem with that. Like art and design, I feel like is a bigger issue, but there's also a gap between being a coder, using AI tools as tools, and being a pure vibe coder. Yeah, and then the vibe coding thing, I mean, the really only problem right now with vibe coding, I mean, we could set aside the discussions about like, should people who don't know anything about programming be vibe coding, but the main problem with vibe coding is that the LLMs are limited right now, such that when your project gets to any reasonable size, they start to break down because they can't hold that much context in their memory. And then the other problem with them too is that they tend not to have any sort of intentionality behind the design of the code base. So if you're not doing a pattern that has been well established, like doing basic API endpoints with your services and dependency injection and all that stuff, if you're going off the beaten path a little bit, or you're coming up with a slightly different design to meet some requirement for your software, the AI tends to do a very bad job of being intentional about that design, to the point where, again, it just becomes hard to reason about the code base. And my friend who's a software engineer, he's currently working, he was doing some freelance work on a code base that was purely vibe coded, and he said it was impossible to add new features to it. Like even his attempts at vibe coding, adding new features, just utterly failed because a whole giant slop mess had been created, and it was just completely unworkable. So that's the danger of vibe coding from a technical standpoint as it comes now, setting aside any like other concerns you might have about it, but just narrowly looking at the technical side of things. There are definitely downsides to it. It's also a tool that can hallucinate and outright lie to you. Blindly trusting AI code is the biggest issue. Always be critical of any AI generated code, right? Yeah. I mean, even, a lot of you have been here when I've been, brainstorming with the AI, and sometimes it will just make stuff up, or sometimes it will say, here's a solution to your problem. Let's delete this code. And it's like, no, I need that code, I need that code. Why is this bringing up the inspector? So I need to fix that, I guess. But my clicks are not being intercepted now, so that's good. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. Sorry, there's a lot to catch up with, so I'm just gonna read through these real quick. Yeah, stuff like that. That's where AI can be really useful. You need a LSP. Hello, Dev Godot. Give me a tip to carry on with my unfinished game. Do I remember you? I don't think so. I'm sorry. I've had a lot of people in and out of the stream these past couple months, so. But welcome back. Give me a tip to carry on with my unfinished game. Here's the guiding tip for you. The tip that encompasses all tips. Are you ready for it? The only way out is through. There you go. The only way out is through. Fireship released a video on the history of programming, and it says something along the lines of AI isn't getting rid of software developers, it's just modifying the method of input. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Your estimation of AI tools sounds a little outdated. Ever since the new set of coding tools, the models are quite good at planning. Maybe. Any line of code should be reviewed in a way, anyway, before it goes to the main prod, whether it was human or computer written, right? The new models will actually write out a plan for you before you prove anything. Is very useful. AI is for sure going to get rid of some software devs. Hello, Sankuko-san. What's the guide? The guide. I don't know what that's in reference to, if you want to clarify your question, but welcome to the stream again. Okay, register card tooltip, add clickable controls, mouse area. Add clickable controls, mouse area. Hover entered, hover exited. Oh, that's the tooltip. Where's the card and here we go. Game actions, action, click right. Okay, let's try that. I like the new to me minimal live stream theme. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I think it's much cleaner. There's more visible area. I may even streamline this a little bit more, but we'll see. A few minutes ago, someone asked for guide tips on how to finish the game, something like that. So you provided him something, or was that a joke? Oh no, I said the only way out is through, which is not a joke. It's not a joke. Okay, that seems to be working. Inspect, purchase. Okay, so I think the other thing that I want to do is let's just do this really quick. Card tooltip. I'm going to flip these inspect and purchase around. I think. Yeah. Okay, let's see what that does. Run with it or run from it. Got you, I misunderstand it, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. LLM output is directly correlated to the input. That's the new skill to learn. Okay. Purchase, inspect. Okay, so that's all working. So now right click inspects and left click purchases. I can't click any of those. Perfect. And then I should be able to drag this card now. Awesome. Okay. Did I properly switch the left and right mouse buttons across the entire code base? I think I did. I think I did. Okay, cool. Let me just make sure real quick. I'm just going to do a quick test to make sure I didn't break anything else with respect to the mouse events. And we'll go from there. Cool. Grab that. Oh, do I need to update the tutorial at all? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm going to say that's done. Now, I do need to fix that shop generation error, so let's figure that out as well. I think that should be relatively easy to do, but... So we swap the buttons there. I will mark that as done. I'm going to throw another bug in here, though. Shop generates inventory ahead of time, making it impossible for artifacts to modify cards, for example. Okay, let's try this out. Makes sense for the inspect and purchase to be positioned relative to the mouse button used. Yeah, I agree. There are lots of new skills to learn: agents, subagents, their prompts, context, memory modes, permissions, tools. Good luck, everyone. Yeah. I may have to brush up on that stuff, but I doubt the agentic programming would be that good for something like Godot anyway. But maybe I'm wrong. I just thought of something. When you alchemize cards, it may be nice to change the tool to say it provides X residue instead of it sells for X blood. Maybe that would be confusing, but may help shed a little light on residue. Yeah, that could work. I have to figure out what I'm going to do about the residue. It has to change because right now it's too appealing to sacrifice the large cards because you get more residue. And so I need to figure out how to not do that. It is very good at Godot. Which do you think is important, VFX or game idea? I think they're both important. That's what I would say. I mean, I don't know what game idea means. I think what's the most important is the execution. So the execution encompasses everything. It encompasses VFX, it encompasses the game idea, it encompasses the actual game design. The execution is the most important thing. Earlier it was not good at Godot, but recent models are absolutely nuts. I don't know. See, I've been using like Claude Opus for some things in this project, and sometimes it just like does not understand the Godot way of doing things. But maybe I'm just not using it properly. Oh well. I will get into that later. I have a lot of problems with ignoring the built-in nodes with the Godot, especially when it comes to multiplayer. One thing I do use it for is shaders. It seems to do a pretty good job at the shaders, which is good. Dev true to an extent, but version control solves this. Yeah, it's not necessarily version control. It's more so like, at some point, I don't want to keep fighting with the AI to get it to do what I'm trying it to do when I just know how to do it myself. So it's a question of which approach is less friction. Okay. Right, so we need to generate the shop inventories not ahead of time. I am passing the RNG in here. Enchant configuration seed. Reagent configuration seed. So that's good. New reagent configuration. Yeah, so I need to figure out what do I want to do here? Shop container, card configurations. So maybe I change this to card configuration. Random number generator, RNG. Public get, let's do public base card int price. Get cards. And then in here, I basically need this and this. So grab this, grab that. What the heck? It's picking all the artifacts ahead of time too. Wait a minute. Artifact configurations. Okay, I'm gonna have to change all of this, I think. Did I copy that? No, I didn't. Okay, so I'm gonna have to grab this, that, and this. For int I. Okay. Card loot table manager, pick card args. Var base cards. Actually, this should probably be here. Node.tier. Oh, I need the target tier. Okay. Is that all I need to do? Just need the price. Yeah, so I just need the price, so I can get rid of all this stuff. Get rid of that, get rid of this. Pass the tier in there. All right. Node.tier. Okay, so we're generating all the cards now when we call this get cards, which is hopefully going to work. This needs to be probably just for safety purposes. I should probably do new random number generator. Seed is equal to rng.rand unsigned long. So just make sure to create a new seed in there. So it doesn't matter, like these are not order dependent now in terms of when I call these. All right, so let's see if this works. var cards is equal to shop configuration dot cards configuration dot get cards. Oh, this requires a configuration object too. Dang it. Let's change this to base card, int price. Private int price. This is going to be a pain in the rear to redo. Base card. Okay, set option cards I. Dot card, cards I dot price. Now what we got down here? I gotta fix this too. New shop configuration RNG1. I don't need to do this. All right. Create test card configuration. Where is this being done? Nowhere? Get rid of that. On tooltip shown. I don't like this. I don't like this. Ability to execute too, yeah. Oh boy, I have a lot to catch up on chat-wise. Let's see. So you swap left right click for inspection, I believe at card upgrade. You could right click to move card to upgrade station and vice versa back to board. When we open the inventory, can we get like a control left click now to move the alchemy board alongside with drag and drop? Yeah, something like that is coming for sure. I have to figure that out. Figure out what I want to do with that exactly, but optimizing AI to your workflow is a very personal thing that can only be optimized via experimenting. Is it normal for my laptop specs to be 100%? Got memory, CPU, storage specs? I would say that probably no, that's not normal. Hello, your closest ghost. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good morning, Ninja Link. I think an LLM would have a hard time helping me with my shader since it would have to take into account my changes to the engine that extend the syntax of the shading language. That may be true, yeah. Let's see. You have to manually mount USB devices in Linux. I just went through my own Linux adventure trying to reproduce one of the bugs in my game. That was a hassle, to say the least. But now I have Linux on I have a dual boot Linux setup, so if I need to, I can just pop over to Linux, clone my repository, and try out Alchemortis on there. Yeah, speaking of LLMs, Dev Godot, this is a prime example of where LLMs are useful. More useful than a Google search, I think, because you can just go with your questions and you could say, give me a step-by-step breakdown of how to install Linux from a USB drive, right? And then it will tell you. And if you have any questions about any step, you can ask it to elaborate. That's where LLMs are. That's what I did when I was installing Linux on my machine, because I had all kinds of NVIDIA driver issues. I had some sound issues. I think Secure Boot was causing some issues that was preventing this installation from even proceeding. It didn't recognize my Ethernet at first either. So yeah, that was but the LLM was very useful at debugging all those things. I don't like this. I might change this back. Let's see. Let's put this back here. We're going to change this back to card configuration. Oops. Card configurations. Private. Read-only ulong. Card configuration seed. Okay, this can just be create or generate card configurations. Get rid of this. Okay. This is a much simpler approach, I think. Anyway, I'm just gonna have to make sure to do that generation there. Actually, let's do this. We'll make that private. What? Okay. Maybe we'll just use that pattern now. So if I go to my shop event state machine, generate the configurations there. What in the heck? Okay. Goodness gracious. I'm going to change all this back. Why am I storing the base cards separately here? All right. Anyway. So that basically becomes, I guess I should just reverted that whole file, but that's all right. Oh goodness. And now in my shop container here, wherever I'm generating the test configuration, var shop config is equal to this. Then I need to do shop config.generate configurations. Shop config. All right. Goodness gracious. So that should fix it for the cards. Let's just make sure that that works. Let's just make sure that that works. So I go to this shop now. There we go. Alrighty. So that is working exactly the same. The only thing is I'm delaying the creation of these actual card instances until I actually visit the shop. Oh, I'm not using the card configuration seed. New random number generator, card configuration seed. There we go. Want to make sure that I'm using that. Okay, cool. Cool. So I probably want to do the same thing for these event and artifact configurations, although, yeah, I probably should just follow this pattern for those things as well, where I generate them at the moment that I visit the shop rather than ahead of time. Just in case, in case there's anything, like I could have an artifact that guarantees that shops will have reagent events, right? And if I generate the shops ahead of time, that's going to be a lot harder to do than if I just generate them at the moment they're being visited. Then I can account for all of the current data or functionality that you're getting from your artifacts and whatnot. But anyway, delay card, shop card generation until visit. Belina Etcher is the one I used. I think that's good. I know I haven't been around much lately. Has Son of a Bee been retired? Nope. That will still come out on occasion. Yeah. This does happen. I actually had this problem too, where I have like a USB drive here. I think it's like, I don't know. I have a USB drive sitting here that just does not work no matter what I do. Like I can't format it. I can't write any data to it. I can't etch anything to it. So it's very possible that the USB is just dead or bricked or something. That definitely happens. That definitely happens. I actually had one situation where my dad gave me a USB drive and he said, hey, we have this USB drive. He works in an industry where he has to like install software on devices. and they come with these USB drives that have all the software drivers, whatnot. He's like, hey, we're done with this USB and I'd like to recover it if possible, but there's nothing like that USB drive was completely locked down. It was like impossible to write anything to it, to format it. Like everything that I tried just didn't work. It was almost like it was locked down at like a hardware level from being written to, I mean, which is kind of interesting. That's probably not likely in your case, but I just thought that was an interesting little moment. Okay, we still have to move these other configurations so that they're delayed, so that they're not being generated ahead of time as well. So I'm going to do that, and then hopefully that won't take too long. And then after that, I want to add the innate tag to innate abilities, so non-alchemizable abilities. I think that would be very useful to do. So we're going to do that, but I'm going to be back in just 3 minutes, and we'll continue on. All right, I'm back. All right, continuing on. So the shop, a seated run here. We have this event loot table, shop events. We will grab this and we will do generate shop inventory. This can actually probably be simplified too when I'm done, but anyway. Public void generate event configurations. All right. We got to get the weighted loot table in here. let's grab the RNG. Oops. Var RNG equals new random number generator. Oh, I can't type today. This is this is not good. Seed equals event. What is it called? Oh, I don't have separate seeds for these things. Is that necessarily a problem? Maybe this just changes into configuration seed, something like that. And then here, let's do this then. Let's change this to random number generator configuration RNG, new random number generator. Okay, and then I can use this configuration RNG here. And then I can use that down here as well. Configuration RNG, configuration RNG, event configurations equals that. Okay. Cool. So now I need to make sure this also needs to be configuration RNG here. All right. So then I can do generate event configurations, and then we need to do the artifact configurations as well. These should be private. Okay. Now the artifacts. Private void generate artifact configurations. Pick artifacts, configuration RNG. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, perfect. And then we can just call this here, generate artifact configurations. All right, this is much more sensible, I would say. Cool. And then the shop container here, this all goes away now. This is just test data, but still simpler, I would say. Generate shop inventory. We're actually going to remove this. Generate shop inventories. I guess that's fine, but I don't need... Oops. Oh, I guess I do need this. I guess it's probably fine the way that it is, actually. I forgot that my seeded run, I have a base seeded run here because I have a tutorial run that overrides some of this stuff. So I can't just like merge. I actually do need to keep that code there. But that's okay. Yeah, that's an override method. Okay, that's fine. All right, well, I guess the last thing to do is just to make sure that this all works. Let me run this test, see if it generates test data properly. And then we'll just do another quick test. Oh, it didn't work. Card loot table manager instance is not valid. I see. Game debug.create card loot table manager this. I did that in the wrong spot. What is wrong with me? Okay. Still doesn't work? Object reference not set to an instance of object. Register card tooltip. I guess this can be null sometimes. Okay, that's fine. No, I don't want to do that. Find all references. Probably makes more sense to do this here. Oh my gosh. I'm having a really hard time typing today. Anyway. Get rid of this. Do I still have an index out of bounds exception? Where is that? Shop container 146. Artifact configure. Oh, did I never generate the artifact configurations? Shop configuration. No, I am doing that. Oh, maybe I don't have an artifact loot table manager. Is that what's happening? Yeah, I don't think I have the artifact loot table manager in here. Am I actually creating that? Game debug. Artifact loot table manager. Yeah, so I need to do that just in my shop container here. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it so that way I can run these scenes as standalones. I'm trying to make it so I can run these scenes as standalones so that if I just need to go in and test like the animations and stuff, I can. The unfortunate thing though is that a lot of this stuff requires like it has some dependencies. So it's not really possible to have the shop made in such a way that it has no dependencies because it needs to be able to determine which cards to add and which artifacts and so on and so forth. So when I do this setup test here, which is called when I detect that this is running as its own scene. So if this.isCurrentScene setup test, I have these debug methods that allow me to add various dependencies when I need them. So it's not the cleanest thing in the world, but you know, it works. But the most important thing is that I think this has all been transferred over now. So it's going to be really important to make sure that these seeds are working properly, that they work predictably if I want players to share seeds and whatnot. Okay. All right, I think it's working. Shop inventory generation. And the real test, I guess, is going to be, I've got the seed here. So let's just test this, make sure that the seed is consistent. I think it is, but we'll see. So if I go to this shop here and Godot crash, so that doesn't help because I'm not going to be able to see the seed. So we'll go again. Hello, Fira. Welcome back. I am good. How are you doing? Okay, so we'll go to the left one here. Okay. Let's go to the output. We'll grab this seed. Can I set the seed in my project settings? No. So just copy and paste that seed in there. And then I go here again. We should see the same inventory. Yep, it's all the same. Perfect. Good stuff. All right, that's enough of that. Let's add the innate tag to non-alchemizable abilities. That's going to be an interesting one. So we want to indicate to the player when a card has an ability that cannot be transferred onto another card via alchemy. So if I go to my base composed ability, I have this is alchemizable. Why is it on the base card ability? I don't know why that's there, but that's all right. Probably should move that. Actually, I think I probably need to move that. Oh no. Let's see how easy it is to do this. Can I just slap that on over there? Does that just work? Is that a safe move? I'm only ever referencing the alchemizable from... Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. So it's the composed abilities that are... The composed ability is a collection of abilities that are all passed as like a group. So like when you see an ability in the game, it's a composed ability. These base card abilities here, this is copyable too, is probably able to be moved over here. Oh, I moved this in the wrong spot. Oops. Oh, wait. No. There we go. So is copyable and is alchemizable needs to exist on the base composed ability level, not the base card ability level. I think that makes sense. Yeah. And just make sure that didn't break anything as well. That did break something. I actually don't know if this was working. I might have just actually revealed a bug by changing that. Yeah, I don't think this is right. So anywhere where I'm using this public copy ability here, this class, I mean, I actually need to add this as a property in here. Okay. So we put is copyable false in there. We need to do the same thing here. And then also in the scarecrow. I think that would have been a bug. I think before you probably would have been able to copy the copy abilities, which is just like not good. Okay, that should work. Why was I doing all this? Oh, right. I'm trying to add the innate tag to this. So the reason I was doing all of that is because I need to be able to determine if it's not copyable and like add that innate tag to it. I'm trying to think of like what the best way to do that is though. Description prefix. So get description. Can I just do something like additional explanations? So I'm going to need to add an ability explanation for innate in here, but let's just get the description working. We're going to simplify this as well. I'm never using that delimiter anywhere. Prefix delimiter, get rid of this. So what I need to do is I need to do var description, or no, var innate prefix is equal to is alchemizable, question mark, innate, otherwise string.empty. And then we're going to do here innate prefix base description. And then here we need to put the innate prefix here as well. All right, so let's see if that works. Do I have any cards with innate? I think the giant mushroom is one such card. So we'll just go ahead and do that. I wonder if this is going to work. Ah, son of a biscuit. Oh, I do have a delimiter here. Oh, no. Doesn't matter. Okay. Oh, that's not quite... Wait a minute. Is it putting innate on everything? Oh, it's supposed to be not alchemizable. Oops. Okay, so this should have... Wait a minute. Sets the turn cooldown of allied cards. Is that one not alchemizable? Giant mushroom. Yeah. Oops. There's a bug there. That ability is supposed to be alchemizable for sure. But anyway, we've got the innate here. So now if I go to my description utils, up in here, game constants.color orange. Let's see if that changes that keyword now to orange. Okay, so now it says innate awards a fungus giganticus spore after each combat victory. What's my debugger error here? Oh, that's fine. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need it to have an innate description down here. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Copy this, paste this, innate. Innate abilities cannot be transferred to other cards via alchemy. now in my base composed ability, I think what I could do is I could just do not is alchemizable ability explanations dot innate. And actually this is going to need to be spread operator again. There's no implicit conversion between. Okay. Oops. I'll just do this. Goodness gracious. All right. That should work. Let's see what happens. Innate, look at that. Innate abilities cannot be transferred to other cards via alchemy. Sweet. So now we have this just automatically being added to any card which has or any ability rather, which is not alchemizable. So that should improve clarity a little bit. What are the other things that have innate? What is another one that has a nod? It's the Hellspawn egg. So let's add that as well. Project settings. Yeah, that's right. Hellspawn egg. We'll just make sure I'm pretty sure it's going to work. I mean, it's pretty generalized. Oh. Witch hut. Innate hatches after 4 combat victories. 4 victories remaining. Excellent. That looks really good. I like that. I like that a lot. Very cool, very cool, very cool. Now, I think ideally, if I was going to go really, really hard on the tooltips here, ideally all the highlighted things would be hoverable. And so you'd be able to just put your mouse over this innate, for example, and have it show the description for that. I don't think it's super necessary at this point though, because the only place where you actually be able to hover that is in the card inspector, and then it's just listed right here. So I don't even know if like a hover step is necessary. Certainly I think for the combat log, I think what would eventually be good to do is make the combat log have hoverable keywords. So that way, if it does damage, you can just hover over the damage and say, oh, here's the damage explanation, right? But maybe it doesn't make so much sense in this case because, like I said, like you obviously can't hover over innate when you've got the tooltip because the tooltip follows your mouse. I think there's a potential maybe to do something Baldur's Gate-esque where you can press a key to like pin the tooltip and then you can hover over the individual items in the tooltip as well, but yeah. I think this works for now. Cool. All right, we're going to call that one done. Add innate tag to abilities and fix. And fix other ability bugs. All right. That's done. Cool. All right, let's figure out what we're going to do next. I'm starting to think about how I'm going to display the meta progression stuff. I've started doing like a UI mockup here, which is still very much a work in progress here, but the idea is to have a big screen that mostly takes up the screen space here, and then just decorate it with like stone pillars as well as vines and whatnot. This panel ideally would be sort of generic so that I could reuse it for other purposes as well, because I think it's going to turn out kind of nice. But yeah, I'm kind of working on that right now. So the vines are going to go all the way around here. These things are supposed to be like stone pillars, so I got to obviously do the art for that. And then this is going to be, yeah, look kind of like a stone plaque, I guess. But then the interior of this is going to have the different categories of unlocks. So there will be like cards here, characters here, artifacts here, so on and so forth. And then the idea is to keep those categories up at the top as like selectable categories or tags, and then, you know, split across this way. This is where all the unlocks would appear, and maybe they would appear in like a 2-column grid, because the unlocks are going to have like flavor text and titles as well. So the idea would be to put like the card pack, some data here like as an icon or whatever, and then title, flavor text. So we've got the icon here, title, flavor text, and then those would just be in a grid themselves, like a scrollable grid. So that's kind of the idea. We're going to see how that works. But this is one of those things where, like, if I'm not feeling particularly artsy, then I don't want to work on it. But that's the idea. Combat log would be helpful, especially if an alchemy has unique attacks or abilities the player can't obtain. Right, yeah. So we'll do that. But anyway, there's a lot to do. Oh, there's a lot to do. It's okay. We'll get it done. Anyway, so that's the kind of UI mockup that I have in place right now, that I've been working on slowly but steadily. I think the big challenge that I don't know how to solve on the UI mockup is like how to show which cards are available in each card pack. I could probably just put them all in like a grid, I think, or maybe I could put them on a board. The problem too is that my card instantiation is not that performant. So if I've got like 20 different card packs and those are each, or those generate a total of 100 cards, I don't know if creating all 100 of those cards when I instantiate that UI scene is going to be that great. That might produce a noticeable hitch or something. So I don't know. I think there may be opportunities to just generally improve the efficiency of my card creation, but that's something that I have to investigate. Anyway, what should we work on? We could do some new content if y'all want to see some new content. We could also do some more boring code stuff. I'm going to knock this one out real quick because that one's easy. Take 25% of max health as damage when combat starts. Okay. Oh, maybe I should make this deal poison damage. Interesting. Let me try that, actually. We're going off on a tangent again. Oh, damage without tracking. Never mind, that's not going to work. I was thinking it might be interesting to have it deal poison damage to you, and so if you have something that scales based off of your poison damage taken, you could, like, negate it. But the problem is that the way that this is working is it's actually dealing damage without tracking that damage in the history, and so nothing would scale off of that anyway. So yeah, the wording mostly is just to fix player expectations about how this item works, but it may be a good idea to change poison heal to track damage dealt and deal poison damage, poison heal artifact, so that player can use that for scaling or other abilities and etc. So that would actually be really interesting. I should make that work. Anyway, I'm down for anything. Awesome. You could just make it a mystery. I don't think you need to show all the cards in each pack until you actually unlock them. Yeah, that's the plan. So they will be locked and not visible until you've unlocked them. That's for sure. So that's definitely going to be the case. But I was just thinking when you have the cards unlocked, it should show them. I like the fact of finding new cards when unlocked, then, oh, I have to do X to unlock this because it seems powerful. Yeah, so I will list, like, maybe I'll give, like, a little hint. So my plan was to say, like, deep sea pack, right? And that would contain, like, the giant squid, the jellyfish, and any other, like, maybe a leviathan. Do I have a leviathan on here? Oh. How did I forget leviathan? So the deep sea pack would contain a bunch of thematically like deep sea creatures, but the only hint you would get about that is like it would say deep sea pack. It wouldn't tell you like what exactly the cards are in that, and then it would list like what the unlock condition is. So if you're like, I want to know what these deep sea pack cards are, well, here's how you unlock it, and then you go and unlock it, but you don't know exactly what the cards are ahead of time. So it's still going to be a surprise when you find them. But I do want to communicate to the player ahead of time, like, here's the theme of the pack and here's what you need to do to unlock it. Rather than just making everything a mystery, you know, like, this pack is unlocked by doing this, but you don't know, like, what kind of cards you're going to get. Anyway, let's see. What kind of cards do we want to do here? I do want to start working on like shop cards. Remember, the idea was that the shop would offer cards that are like Eastern themed, because the game's theme is very like Western European medieval theme. But I think it would be interesting to introduce some like Eastern mythological creatures or weapons and whatnot from the trader. So it's like the trader is coming from like a far off land and is offering, you know, foreign equipment and things like that. Hag. A hag would be fun to draw. Maybe we'll do that. Let's take a look at what we're missing, though. We don't have many 2x1 cards. I need to bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Don't have many 1x3 cards either. That's a super cool shop concept. Yeah, I think so. Obviously, it's going to require that I make a bunch of like Eastern themed cards to make that, you know, appealing. And I may start it off with like the shop only offers one of those options rather than all of them. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting, but honestly, I think the hag probably just has to be a 1x2 card again. I don't have that many 1x2 cards. I mean, it looks like it's the third biggest section of cards. 2x2 is the second biggest and 1x1 is the first biggest. So definitely need more like L-shaped cards. Need more horizontal 2x1s. 2x3, gonna need more of those. Definitely need more 1x3 cards as well. 3x2, I only have one 3x2. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, I don't need to make all of the card dimensions like equal. Like there doesn't need to be like 25 of 1 by 1 and 25 by 2 by 2. I actually think there should be fewer large cards than small cards. I think that's just the way that the game should go. Because obviously, like if you're just getting a ton of big cards, it's like you're not going to be able to use a bunch of big cards on one board anyway. So making those less common, generally speaking, I think is a good idea. But let's just do a hag, and let's investigate what kind of abilities we can give the hag. Card inspection tool. So let's use my new and improved tool here and investigate where we are missing some things. So let's go to ally. So we have a good amount of healing. Still kind of not good on shield. Fire seems okay. Poison is definitely okay for now. Could add more echo. Maybe the hag could have echo on her. We don't have a whole lot of bleeding cards either. Ability projector. Don't have a lot of ability projectors. Don't have a lot of swarm. Don't have a lot of speed. Don't have a lot of blind. Don't have critical chance. We've got some paralysis. We've got some exhaust. Some confuse. Self-critical chance. Self-critical multiplier. And then unspecified. Wait, I don't think I really ever tested if these things work together. Oh, I didn't realize this. All of my reagents now have the innate tag. Oh, that's not good. Oh wait, I guess that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I didn't think about that. That's not good. Anyway, let's just get the hag drawn and then we'll figure out what to do about that ability. Alrighty. Well, you all know what the hag needs to look like. I'm just blocking this out for now. Let's see how this works. Let's see. Kind of making it look bird-esque. Let me just do this real quick. Okay, and then obviously up here, we're gonna want some hair for sure. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Well, the nose is going to be hard. Oops. 1x3 are long and flat, right? Yeah. 1 cell wide, 3 cells tall. Hag's broom could be a 1x3. Yeah. Maybe a little uninspired. It's all right. Was on a call. What are we doing now? We're drawing a hag. What about a haggin? It would be a grocery store for hags and witches. All right. Problem is when I fill this all in, it loses the shape that I'm going for. Oops, am I on the wrong thing? Maybe we do something like this. Dang. Oh, there we go. That works. Okay. I think this hand is maybe a little bit too long, so we'll bring this over a little bit. Actually, maybe it's okay. I think this part is just a little bit weird. Nope. There we go. That looks better. Maybe it just looks better like that, I guess. I'm gonna try to adjust the pose a little bit here. There we go. What to do about this arm now? Problem is the arm is going to go off frame. But I guess that's probably all right. Oops. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Whatever, it's fine. Merge down. I mean, we'll get it. We'll get it. It's just going to take a little bit of finagling. Projects the allied cards not on the edge of the board. Echo. If a witch's hut is on the board, echo. I meant to put allied alchemical cards not on the edge of the board. Oh, I see. Allied alchemical cards not on the edge of the board. Hello, Emerson. Welcome back. A hag, what about upside down T-shape, making her fly on a broom? Yeah, that could work. But we already started this, so... I mean, I can do like a witch that's different than the hag as well. Maybe something like this will work. Oops. I don't know about the whole bottom part there, but the hair is a little bit weird too. This part is weird. I might just have to do something like... Nope, that doesn't work. Ah. This nose is going to be a problem. What have I gotten myself into? What have I gotten myself into? I mean, I think that profile is probably okay, but this is why I don't do faces. I can't do faces. It's hard. A new card, is it a witch? Yeah, close. It's a hag. She's absolutely stunning. If she offered me a potion, I'd drink it. Very nice. Would the broom add sweeping changes to the game? Might have to dust it. All right, nice. Is there a plan to use alchemy, maybe with a special reagent, to combine cards down the road? Hag, broom, witch? No, that's not planned right now. Because I think that would be something that the whole game would have to be based around, I think. Because if it's only like a handful of interactions in the game and there's like no way of knowing the combinations, I guess that could be solved with like, you know, saying, hey, if this card is combined with this card, then you get that. So maybe there's an opportunity for that kind of stuff, but yeah, I'm not really intending to do any like recipes. I don't really know what to do about the face. I can't do faces. Faces are difficult. Faces are difficult. What if I just did... Maybe that will work, something like that. I don't really like this. Those colors, though, that's the problem. Maybe I'll just do something like that. Probably going to change the color of her garb as well, because it's a little bit clashing. So I may do, oops, may do that instead. Okay, well, we're getting there. We're getting there. We will figure it out. Let's just do some shading now. Might actually change this a little bit in here. That works. And then we'll just go ahead and do something like this. Okay. I don't even know. I don't know if I want to keep this here. Looks kind of weird to not have the other arm there, but what if I could do something a little different? I guess it's kind of similar to what I had before. Oh, we could do like that, I guess. Yeah, maybe that works. Maybe she could be a headless hag. Yeah, maybe. Looks really cool, like the nose. Thank you. Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's gonna take a little bit of tweaking, but we'll get there. My favorite Nishi celeb is streaming today. Hello, Ariane. Welcome back. Good morning, Straight Pointer. On the stream yesterday, you mentioned not attaching the Godot camera to the player. Does that mean a better way is to update the camera position in code in response to movement? Yeah, I think so. I mean, generally, yes. I think you would lerp the camera to the player position. I don't really like this pixel being there. All right, well, it's getting there, I guess. Problem is I don't really have a good, like, skin tone color for her, and I'm using all these colors up here for the hair. Wonder if I should just try to make the hair white. Is that gonna work? No. Why is this so difficult? Dang it. Why is this so difficult? I just can't, the colors are just not working here. What am I going to do about this? I think like everything from here down looks fine. It's just the head, I don't know what to do about up here. Yeah, it's just I don't know what to do about the face. I have no idea. I could change the hair color. Maybe. Nope. Oops. Reminds me of the main antagonist in Undertale, but from their side. Oh, from the side. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is fine except for this part. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Give her a giant witch hat, no face, no hair, no problem. That could work. More dark in the hair, maybe. Maybe try add some dark spot on her face to make it more contrasty. Yeah, I mean, I do need to do that, but it's just like, how? I have 8 colors, right? So... I just don't know how to do like the eye and the mouth. Probably, I mean, maybe I don't need a mouth. Maybe no mouth is good. I think it looks mostly fine otherwise, yeah. What about adding a few dark blue pixels here and there? No, that's not gonna work. Dang, red eye, let's go. Yeah, I think red eye is probably good. Oops. Let's see. Maybe if I do... Maybe we will add more shades of color to the hair here. Let's just make this... Okay, we'll do that. And then... I think that looks a little bit better, maybe? Maybe something closer to this might work. I still think this is a little bit too flat over here, but maybe is that better? I don't know. Like in the hair, I mean. Okay. Maybe that's looking good. Def looks better. Make her bald and call her Vulture Woman. Yeah. I think there needs to be some black here. Let's see. This section right here is not working. Oh, that might work though. But now it looks less like hair and more like some kind of headdress or whatever. Which is fine. I mean, we can just lean into that, I suppose. We could just lean into that if that's going to be easier to do. Wanted to give her like crazy hair, but we can't all get what we want now, can we? Maybe that's better. Looks good. You like that? I think she looks fine. The hair reminds me of Medusa, but like you said, there's a little room for new maneuver with 8 colors. Minus the hair, she looks a little bit like Hag Ravens. I mean, how do we like? Do we like it better with the hood, or should I go back to the hair? Might make this a little bit bigger. With a little bow under her chin, you'll have a simple headscarf. Yeah, that would work. Hood looks cleaner, but I like the crazy hair idea. Yeah, I mean, I like the hair idea too, but it wasn't working, so. Try not to force things that don't need to be forced. All right, well, I'm going to call this good. I'm going to call this good for now. And we'll see if we can give her some abilities now. I think it looks fine. I wish I could have made the hair work, but maybe another character will have crazy hair. Or I can always revisit the witch too later. Or the hag, I mean. That's another option too, is that if I do a witch card, which is different than the hag, then that would be an opportunity for crazy hair as well. I thought that was hair. Well, if you think it's hair, that's fine. The most important thing is, like, the pixel art has to be clean. It can't be muddy. And so if the hair is creating a bunch of muddiness where it's like, people are like, what is that? You know, that's a problem. This is cleaner, but whether you read that as hair or as a hood, it kind of doesn't matter. I think it works both ways, as a hood and hair. Yeah. So that's fine. So we're gonna have to give the hag some abilities here. Let's see. All right. Well, I actually don't have time to do abilities right now, so I'll probably do that off stream, but I'll be adding abilities that don't really exist for the player yet, in the sense that, I mean, I'll do something with the hag that fills a need that is currently necessary for the player builds, fill some kind of gap for player abilities. But that'll be it for the stream today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. I think the hag turned out all right, so that's fine. Not every piece of art in the game needs to be a masterpiece, but anyway, you can wish this Alka Mortis on Steam. That's linked in the description below. The playtest is also still available for one more day, so it ends tomorrow. So if you want to try the playtest, click this request access button on the Steam page. Give it a try, join the Discord, and let me know what you think. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I probably will not be streaming again today, so I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a good day.